Peace. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, give honor and praise to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov. Giving double honors to 7130 South Chicago that taught me this truth. And double honors to all the brothers and sisters that the Creator has awoken in these last days. With that being said, peace and shalom. All right, brothers and sisters, the lesson that we're going to be dealing with today is the wheat and the tares and the abomination of desolation, right? So let's look up, from a biblical term, what does the wheat and the tares symbolizes, right? So it says, I had looked up something online, and I'm going to read it. It says how God will separate the believers from the non-believers during the final judgment, right? And what is really a believer? A believer is an individual that believes in the word of Yah and understands the word of Yah is because the Creator has opened their understanding in these last days about what's going on in the world, right? And who is his true representatives in the earth. Because really, the true representatives of the Creator is the nation of Israel. And this is the controversy that's going on in the human arena from a small scale point of view, right? Because you have people, which is so-called black folks, talking about that they are the natural and the spiritual seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And you have other individuals that don't subscribe to that, but they too look at themselves as the spiritual manifestation of the nation of Israel and the planet Earth today, right? So let's look at the biblical term of the term tear. The biblical term of the term tear means is an injurious weed resembling the wheat when it's young, right? So what we're going to be looking at, the 13th chapter of the book of Matthew, right? And this probably be a lengthy series, right? Maybe about 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 or 6 videos dealing with this topic. Or it may be short, maybe 3 or 4. Because what we're going to do is we're going to bring out what the Most High put in the mindset of Yahshua in these last days, right? Because everybody is picking up the Bible and they trying to get an understanding of what the Creator is saying in the earth today, right? So with no further ado, brothers and sisters, let's look at the 13th chapter of the book of Matthew, right? And I want to start at the 24th verse. It says, tares among the wheat. So it says, another parable put he forth unto them. See, because this is the Mashiach speaking, right, to the nation of Israel. Not so much the nation of Israel as a whole, but he's speaking to the apostles, right? He's speaking to the apostles that's following him. That's his students, right? So he's saying this in another parable it says, in another parable, he put forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man which soweth good seed in the field, right? And what is the kingdom of heaven and what is the good seed, right? So the first scripture that we're going to go to from the start, we got to start from the beginning. Turn to the book of Genesis. Let's turn to the book of Genesis because this is the beginning of everything, right? Because first of all, we got to understand where the Creator is talking about heaven. We got to understand where is heaven, right? We got to understand where is heaven. So, first place that we're going to find this, we're going to go to the book of Genesis, and we're going to start reading. We're just going to read the second chapter of the book of Genesis, even though before we start to talk about this is a disclaimer, right? The first chapter of the book of Genesis is basically an overview, and the second chapter is basically when creation starts, right? And the third chapter is basically when creation ends. Everything is finished, right? So it's going to be some things in the second chapter that's going to make you think that things is being created. In actuality, it is being created, but we got to understand that the first chapter is basically the blueprint. And the second chapter is when things is taking place, right? If that make any sense. Because you have a lot of people, they saying that you got two creations, But this is why context is needed. And a lot of times you need a person that really have a spiritual eye. He can be able to explain certain things to you, right? So let's look at this. It says, the second chapter of the book of Genesis, the first verse. And thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. Because, like I said before, when they talking like this, they're really talking about the blueprint that was established in what you would call the first chapter. So when it's talking about the first heaven, it says, thus the heavens and the earth were finished and all the host of them, right? Now, when we're talking about heavens, right, plural, we got to understand that that you have what you would call a spiritual realm, right, which is a realm that is supposed to be for the Creator and the angelic host, and you have what you would call a physical realm, right, which is supposed to be for what they would call human beings, or what we like to say today, human spirits, right? So you have, quote unquote, what they would call two heavens. So you got a heaven you got a spiritual realm and you got a physical realm, right? Mankind is supposed to live in the physical realm, brothers and sisters. And I'm saying this for a reason. It's because when we're talking about the tares of the wheat, the tares amongst the wheat, right? We got to understand what it is that we referring to. So it says, and on the seventh day, Yah ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made, and Yah blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he rested from all his work which Elohim created and made. But like I just said, the second chapter, when you go through verses 1 through 3, this is just basically an overview of the first chapter. Because if you're a builder, if you're a person that, let's say you deal with, let's say you're an engineer, before you can start building, you have to put things on paper. You have to build something on paper. You have to strategically construct a building before you can start building anything. So they have what you would call construction plans, right? So within the construction plans, you have a layout, a fine sketch or a layout of a building that you're trying to build. So you have the building, and then you got the inside of the building. You got everything put in place on where you want to have certain things, whether it's the bathroom, the washing machines. If you want a pool area, you got a pool. You want a gym, you got a gym, and all this type of stuff. You have all the rooms, all the apartments in a strategic place on where you want to build it, right? So you get through with everything that you want to put on paper on how you're going to construct the building. So when you get done with this, now you can start to construct the building. But you can't construct the building unless you have what they would call floor plans, right? So the floor plans are the things that's going to help you build the building, right? So we're looking at the second chapter, verses 1 through 3, is really talking about the first chapter, because everything is finished. Everything is laid out on how the earth is supposed to be constructed, how man is supposed to be constructed, how the animals is supposed, and so on and so on. Everything that the Creator created, he has already put an overlay on how things are supposed to be constructed and finished. So when we get to the second chapter, now we can start what? We can start physically building something, right? Because we have the floor plans, we got all of the workers, we got everything that we need in order to start to build from what? The ground up. So it says, and these are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created. In the day that Yah made the earth and the heavens, and every plant of the field, before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew, Yael had made, cause, it says, for Yael had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. But when it says, but there went up a mist from the earth, right, and watered the whole face of the ground. And a lot of this stuff is, some of this stuff, this is what you would call symbolic speech, right? Because this is the Creator creating everything. So it says, and Yah Elohim formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed in his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. See, man become a living soul. So I'm not going to read the whole chapter, but I'm just showing you that when the Messiah is talking about, let's go back to the book of Matthew, where the Messiah is saying, another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man which sowed good seed in the field. Well, what is he talking about? See, what is the kingdom of heaven? What is that? It's supposed to be, brothers and sisters, a righteous government that is being ruled by the Creator. And when it's talking about the kingdom of heaven, brothers and sisters, the kingdom of heaven is quote unquote on earth. Just like we live in a kingdom today, but the kingdom that we living in today is quote unquote contrary to the kingdom that was established by the Creator in the beginning, right? So it says, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man which sowed good seed in the field, right? And what is the good seed? Brothers and sisters, really the good seed is the philosophy and teaching, or what we would call the law, statutes, and commandments of the Creator. This was the good seed that was supposed to be established on the Creator's rules and regulations that's in the earth. Because that's really what man is supposed to live by. That's what man is supposed to live by. So let's look at this. Let's turn to Genesis, the second chapter. Look at the second chapter. We're going to find it. Genesis, the second chapter. And I'm going to start reading verses 8 and 9. It says, and Yah Elohim planted a garden eastward in Eden. Now, what was the garden originally? What is being said here? Well, we understand history to a certain extent, right? History says that mankind started in what you would call Northeast Africa. See, this is where mankind started at. So the start of civilization would start in what you would call the northeastern side of Africa. And when we talk about Eden is talking about what? The earth, brothers and sisters. Yah planted a garden eastward in Eden. See, Eden is supposed to be an earth. It's because the earth was supposed to be a heaven to us as a people. During this time, we breathed good air. We ate. We had a perfect diet. See, our mentality was, we was innocent. See, we didn't know nothing about sin, or what they would call sin is basically contrary to the law. See, we didn't know nothing about sin back then. It says, and there he put the man whom he had formed, and out of the ground man Yahweh to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight, and good for food, and the tree of life. And see, what is the tree of life? The tree of life is really the philosophy and teaching of the Creator. See? And that's really that's the Creator spirit. See, that's his rules, that's his regulations. That's what's that's the tree of life. See, the tree of life is really Yah. So we were supposed to get our understanding, our knowledge from the Creator. Because that's the thing that is doing what? Sustaining us as a people. Also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And what is the tree of knowledge of good and evil? It's the philosophy and teaching of the adversary. See? That's that, and look, that's his spirit. his customs and traditions. And why is this stuff happening? Let's look at the scripture. Let's turn to Revelation, the 12th chapter. Book of Revelation, 12th chapter. Revelation, the 12th chapter. And I'm going to start reading at the 7th verse. And there was war in heaven. And what was the war originally? The war was originally in what they would call the spiritual realm, brothers and sisters. It says, Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, which is the devil, and the dragon fought and his angels. So it was a war, right, between quote-unquote good and evil, and prevailed not. Neither was there a place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast into the earth, and his angels was cast out with him. So let's precept this. Let's go back to the book of Genesis, and let's look at quote unquote. One second. Let's look at the 3rd chapter of the book of Genesis. The 3rd chapter of the book of Genesis. I'm going to start reading at the 1st verse. Because the Messiah says that the kingdom of heaven is likened to a man that sowed good seed in the field. And see, what was the seed that we were supposed to sow in the field? Because really the field is what you would call what we live at today is the earth. See? It says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yah Elohim had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, have El said, ye should not eat of every tree of the garden? Because the tree, when if you go look at a tree, the tree grow leaves, and sometimes it grow fruit and things of this nature. So when you're eating off the tree, the food that is on the tree, it gives you what? It gives you nourishment. See, it could be an apple tree or a peach tree, so on and so on. But when you're eating the fruit off of the tree is supposed to give you some type of nourishment. That's why they say that you should eat a lot of fruit, is because fruit have minerals and it has fiber, right? That's going to make you go to the bathroom, right? But if the fruit is tainted and you take the fiber out of the fruit, yeah, it's still sweet, but you're not going to gain the minerals or the fiber in the fruit because the fruit has been taken out. So now the fruit is tainted. Yeah, it seems like it's good. It's good for consumption, but are you really going to get the minerals that you need to be able to function in everyday life? So it says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yah-El had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, have Elohim said, ye should not eat of every fruit of the tree? And this is slang. This is symbolic speech. What is being said? What is being said here? What is the conversation? Because the Creator warned the foreparents. He said what? If you eat of this, and even if you touch it, you're gonna die, right? You're gonna die from this. So what was the tree that we was not supposed to be eating from? We was not supposed to be eating from the philosophy and teaching of the adversary, brothers and sisters. Because the 7th chapter, the 12th chapter, the 7th verse talks about the war in the spiritual realm. And Yah warned the foreparents. See, they was told not to converse or conversate with the adversary is because why? He has come down to deceive individuals because he has been kicked out his first estate, which is in the spiritual realm. So now he has come down amongst the human family according to the 12th chapter. I think it's the 8th verse of the book of Revelation, when it basically says that he came amongst the people because he was kicked out. So when it says ye should not eat of every tree of the garden, what is that? That's the philosophy and teaching of the adversary. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. What is the fruit of the trees of the garden? It's really the tree of life. See, because just like I said before, what does a tree do? A tree is supposed to give you nourishment when it has fruit on it. But if you don't know that the fruit is tainted, right, and you're eating from it, you're not going to get the nourishment and the vitamins and the fiber that you're supposed to be able to receive from eating the fruit, right? Because like I said before, when you go to the store today and you go in the fruit section, you have fruit that are shiny, right? They look good to they look good to the sight. They real shiny. Let's take an apple. Apple is real shiny, right? It's good to look upon. You like, man, the apple look real good. Let me get about 10 of those. But really, because a lot of times we don't really pay attention to fruit, we don't know what's good and what's not good. So you got another apple that's sitting there, it look rusty, right? It don't look shiny like the regular apple. But you will take the apple that looks shiny because it looks clean, right? But in actuality, the food manufacturing people, they put wax on the apple. So when you take that apple home and you consume the apple, not only are you eating the apple, but you're eating the wax and all the other stuff that has been put in the apple to make it look like that. So when we're talking about this, our people, because they had see, in the 3rd chapter, they had already started to leave the Creator because they started to look at themselves as gods. See? And see, Adam, which is supposed to be the head, he started to follow after his woman. So this is why the adversary came to the woman, is because the woman was the vessel that was used to deceive the man. Because the man was not listening to the Creator in the beginning. So when it says, and the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yah hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. See, that was a command right there. See? That was a command. The Creator told the human family, do not eat from the philosophy and teaching of the adversary. And look here, we did it anyway. And this is why the human family is in a chaotic state that they're in today. It's because we have taken on the spirit of the adversary, y'all. So when we looking at all the chaotic events and things of this nature, we're looking at the residue, or we looking at the byproduct that has happened to the human family because of the sins of the ancestors. Let's go back to Matthew 13:24. Matthew 13:24. Another parable he put forth unto the people, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that soweth good seed in the field. And like I said, what is the good seed? The good seed is supposed to be the tree of life, brothers and sisters. And what is the tree of life? The tree of life is the doctrine and the teaching of the Most High Yah and his rules and regulations in the earth. That's what we're supposed to be teaching. But while man slept, right, his enemy came and sowed tares amongst the wheat and went his way. That's why when we went to the book of Genesis, matter of fact, let's go there. And why is man sleeping? Why is man sleeping? Man is sleeping. He's not physically sleeping. He has slept is because why? Because he's not following the Creator no more. Now the enemy has come and done what? He has put tares amongst the wheat. And we was looking at the definition of the term tare in the biblical sense. It says a tare is an injurious weed resembling wheat when it is young, right? So in the beginning stages, it looks like wheat. It says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yah had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, have Yah said, ye should not eat of every tree of the garden? See? Because the tree resembled, quote unquote, the same tree that the Creator created in the earth just as well. But mind you, brothers and sisters, the Creator had already told the human family not to eat from this tree. Because why? It's different from my tree. It may look tantalizing. It may look like it's a tree that you can eat from. Just like I used the scenario in the grocery store. You got the apple that don't have wax on it, and you got the apple that got wax on it. The apple that don't have wax on it, it may cost a little bit more. But the apple that have the wax on it, it costs less. The one that don't have the wax on it, it costs $2.39 a pound, and the one that got the wax on it costs 99 cents a pound. So you thinking, well, oh, I can buy this apple look better than the other apple. Why is this apple more expensive than the apple that got the wax on it, or it looks shiny? See, it looks shiny. It look better than that apple. The reason for that is because the apple that's costing $2.99 a pound, it is much better than an apple that costs 99 cents. So when we looking at the tree, it resembles, quote unquote, the tree that the Creator set up, but it's different. See, it doesn't have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that the Creator has put on, that's set before us, right? The knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that this tree has is contrary. See, and look here, when we eat from that tree, we gonna find out what's going on, and that's why we in a chaotic state today, because we have eaten from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yahweh hath said, ye shall not eat it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. For Yah doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. Ain't that something? Here it is, the Creator told us not to eat from this tree, but the adversary is telling us that if we eat from this tree, that we're going to be just as wise as the Creator. See? And what is the doctrine and the teaching of the adversary? It's what? It's materialism without Yah. See? It's materialism without Yah. We can rule this planet without the wisdom, understanding of the Creator. We can become gods of our own. We don't have to listen to the Most High. See? And this is the mindset that we have today. Look what we did. It says that when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the trees to be, it says, a tree to be desired, to make one what? Wise. She took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband, and he did eat. So she manifested the philosophy of the adversary to him. See, because mind you, he saw that fine old black woman with them big old legs and I don't want to be vulgar, them big old legs, that big old behind, and them big breasts, that afro. You know, he started to look at her as a god. See? Because the black man and the black woman is the parent stock of the whole human family, right? So when he first saw her, he fell in love with her. And he started to base all of his understanding, his wisdom, off of her teaching. But he was supposed to be the leader. So she started to manifest and to take on a new characteristic that's contrary to the Creator. And what did he do? He followed after her. And the eyes of both of them was open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made them. And what is that symbolic of? See, they tried to hide their sin from the Creator. See, you can't do that. So when we go back to the book of Matthew, the 13th chapter and the 24th verse, it says, another parable he put unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened to a man which sowed good seed in the field. We were supposed to what? Because we were supposed to build this earth or this planet per se after the rules, regulation, and ordinances of the Most High. But while man slept, how did he sleep? It's because he wasn't following the wisdom of the Creator no more. He wasn't following the wisdom anymore. And who else is doing this too? And who is the modern day Adam and Eve today? It's the nation of Israel, the southern and the northern kingdom, brothers and sisters. It's because we supposed to be bringing forth the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Creator today to the people. But how did we sleep? We slept is because why? We started to follow after who? We started following after the adversary. See, this is why we in captivity. Let's look at the scripture. Let's turn to the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. The book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, right? Matter of fact, let's start at the first verse. Then we're going to go to 15. It says, and it came to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yah Elohim to observe to do all his commandments which I have commanded thee this day, that Yah thy El will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And what is that? This is the tree of life, brothers and sisters. See? See, because when you take on Yah's spirit, then you start to conduct yourself after the Creator. So the Creator gave the nation of Israel his statute, his ordinances, his commandments. And we were supposed to take it, and we were supposed to master it, and we were supposed to teach it to the world. But how do we fall asleep? We fell asleep because why? Because we wanted to be just like the other nations. Wasn't Samuel heartbroken when the nation of Israel said to Samuel, give us a king. We want to be just like the other nations. See? We want to be just like the other nations. Give us a king. And Samuel's heart was broke. But the Creator told Samuel, hey man, don't trip. Because they're not rebelling against you. They're rebelling against me. And since you want to have a king, he's going to treat you just like the kings of this earth is going to treat you. See, he gonna put you in slavery. That's what he gonna do. He gonna have you in the kitchen. You're gonna be scrubbing pots. You're gonna be scrubbing floors. You're gonna go to war for him. See, you're gonna bow down and kiss his boot. That's what you're gonna be doing. It's because these are the ordinances of the king that ruleth in the affairs of men. See, a lot of times when we set these kings up in the nation of Israel, sometimes they didn't have no respect for the people. See, I'm God. And what I say go. So it says, and all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yahweh Blessed shall thou be in the city, and blessed shall thou be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of the sheep. Blessed shall be the basket and the store. And what does the basket represent? See, you know, the basket represents, in my opinion, twofold, maybe three. That's the wisdom of the Creator. That's the economical system. See, that's the educational system that we were supposed to set up in the earth. Because if you're a teacher, you got to have an educational system. See, our dietary law. See, blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. And everybody's going to come to buy from us because why? It's because our store has good fruit. Blessed shall thy be when thou comest in, and blessed shall thou be when thou goest out. Let's jot down to 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yah thy El, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. See, this is the same aspect of the 3rd chapter of the book of Genesis. See, it's because we didn't really know. We didn't fully understand the ramifications of us rebelling against the Most High. See, we really didn't understand that. Because, when we rebelled against the Creator, we'll cry out to the Creator, and the Creator do what? He'll come deliver us. But it's going to come a time when the Creator going to do what? He's not going to deliver you. See, he's going to leave you right where you at, and you're going to have to suffer. And that's what we doing today. We suffering, brothers and sisters. We suffering. The so-called black man has made all contributions to everywhere that he has been scattered throughout the world, the nation of Israel, and he's still being downtrodden even to this day. It says, "Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store." Ain't nobody coming to you for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. See, the Creator has turned the nations against you. They hate you now. Because why? Because your fruit, your vegetables, and your meat has become tainted. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind, and the flock of thy sheep. Don't nobody look at Jerusalem. They don't look at you no more as Israel. See, the nations that you were supposed to take, the nations that we're supposed to be teaching, now they calling themselves Israel. See, cursed shall thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shall thou be when thou goest out. Let's look at another scripture. Let's turn to the book of Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Book of Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Because, see, we don't know how this look, right? Book of Psalms, 83. If we're going to go back, we're going to go back to Deuteronomy. Psalms 83. Psalms 83 and 1. Keep not thy silence, O Yah. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yah. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, that they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. Who is that? That's the nation of Israel. See? The nations have done what? They have came together on one consent to remove you out of the pages of history. And that has already happened. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Let's look at this. Because we know the nation did this. Jeremiah 17:4. Jeremiah, Yahoo 17:4. Yahoo 17:4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger which shall burn forever. So, we want to talk about white supremacy and everybody is racist towards us. But see, we're not looking at ourselves. It's because we were supposed to be the sowers that's supposed to sow good seed in the ground. We're not doing that today. We're rebelling against the Most High. And a lot of us is doing this knowingly and unknowingly. Let's look at this. Let's turn to Isaiah. Isaiah 7th chapter. I think it's the book of Isaiah. 7th chapter, I think. Nope, 14. No, this ain't Isaiah. Hold on. A second, brothers and sisters. 14th chapter, book of Isaiah. Fourteenth chapter of the book of Isaiah, 12th verse. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven, and I will exalt my throne above the stars of Elohim. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the side of the north, and I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, and I will be like the Most High. 3rd chapter, book of Genesis. Genesis, 3rd chapter, 1st verse. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahweh hath made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, have Yah said, ye should not eat of every tree of the garden? See, because we wasn't listening to the Most High. So now the adversary is looking like an individual that is of the Most High, but in actuality, he's not. See? And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. But of the fruit of the tree in the midst of the garden, Yah have said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. Deuteronomy 28, verses 36, 37. Yah shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and thou shalt serve other powers, wood and stone, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, which Yah shall lead thee. So what are we doing over here in this captivity? We're serving other gods, brothers and sisters. This is how we slept. And this is how the adversary has done what? Sowed tares amongst the wheat. And a lot of, and see, we can't figure out what's going on is because the tares is looking just like the wheat. And what are we talking about? So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this off and we're going to continue part 2 of the wheat and the tares and the abomination of desolation. Shalom.